Welcome to KG5 for Wrest Point TSLW action. It is round 6. And for the first time this season, we're going to have a live stream game of the TSL women's competition. It's the old rivals, Glenorchy up against Clarence, here under lights at KG5 as part of a big evening for the football club here at what they call the Nest. We'll go through the teams quickly as Clarence make their way out onto KG5. Of course, it's a grand final replay from 2018. A few new faces in both teams. We're just waiting for the teams to come up as Clarence get ready. So a nice night for footy out here. A bit of a breeze in the end. Seems to be going to the right of screen. Here we are, the teams for this evening. And that is the Glenorchy side, outside of the logo, the top left. Stars started to line up. A couple of players to watch in this one. Of course, the North Melbourne Tasmanian Kangaroos members are in the Clarence side, so we'll get to those in a moment. But Glenorchy, a star-started lineup, led really well by Nieta Lynch, centre half forward, real leader in this team. Expect her to be a real threat inside 50. Nat Daniels has also kicked bag this season, a silky distributor. And she may well be deployed in the defence. And Elise Barwick, a very, very fine player as well as Mackie Sutcliffe. And Sarah Skinner, of course, a really strong accumulator of the footy. Of course, her season last year was the top vote getter in the TSLW competition, but unfortunately, due to suspension, missed out on the medal, but had a fine season and will be a player to watch in this one. Take a look at the Clarence side. We'll just wait for the producer to bring this one up as Clarence finding their voice in the warm-up. There they are, the Clarence side. A mix of some good experience and some new players to the game. The players to watch in this one, as I said a little bit earlier, are the North Melbourne Tasmanian Kangaroos that have come back into the TSLW after the first season in the competition. Nicole Bresnahan in the middle. She's one to watch. Jessie Williams, who had a really successful start to the season. Kicked 6 goals up there at UTAS Stadium as part of a really big triple header. As well as we've skipped through the lineup. I've just lost my sheet here. Where am I? And a really strong team, no question about it. Jessie Williams, as I said, Nicole Bresnahan and Maddie Smith, who may be deployed. Well, she can be deployed all over the ground. She's named at half back. Wouldn't be surprised to see her go forward and have an impact there. Can also go on the ball. So that is the Clarence lineup. It's set to be a hot contest. Last year, of course, the grand final was decided by just a point, and it went the way of the Magpies. So Clarence would be keen to atone for that and best their bitter rival. So Clarence in the huddle now, and Glenorchy also in their huddle, overweight in the 50. So a big day of footy here at KG5. Big evening. Lights on, ready for a bit of a feast of footy. So this game, the TSLW action between Glenorchy and Clarence, will open up proceedings to be followed by the men's TSL game, Bupa TSL action between the very same teams, Glenorchy and Clarence. So a big game for two fierce rivals, of course. More history into the rivalry on the men's side of the equation, but recent history is ever present in this one in the TSLW, with their outing last year, the last day of the year, going right to the bitter end and seeing Glenorchy secure the premiership. So one out on my own in the commentary box for this encounter. I'll do my darndest to call all the action. fresh night, as you'd expect, in the northern suburbs, southern half of the state. So we're not far at all from getting underway here at KG5. Umpire holds the ball aloft. We'll go in the middle. The ruckman, Sullivan. He's bested there by Elliston. It's not going too far early doors. Climbing on top was Bresnahan, and a stoppage. So that was quickly rinse and repeat. Rucks go at it again. Kicked out of there. Looking to race onto it. There's Barwick. Soccering along. They're in a battle on centre wing, broadcast side. And it will again be a stoppage. It was Elise Barwick climbing on top. Of course, a key player in that premiership last year as the two rucks go at it again as one well down by Elliston. And again, it's going to be a congested start. This might be symptomatic of the game tonight. Another key player to watch, just in the screen there, is Tom Nasa Corrie. Has a big impact. This one's forced out of there by the Glenorchy play. Here it comes through Barwick. Tries to shake off one. Hands inside. No one in black and white. She gathers her own footy. Kicks inside the arc. It was a kick meant for an intended target. Won't get to it. Out the back it comes. Punched away. Slips out the back, and they might be on here, Glenorchy. Goal doesn't quite get there. It's a close range effort. It was an unconvincing finish, but it matters little. Through the big sticks. And Glenorchy opened the account here at KG5. As we see on the replay, fantastic finish. And it was, I think it was Daniels. It was Nat Daniels. So named in defence, a bit of fox play by the Glenorchy coach, straight up forward line and on the board early. So Glenorchy with the early running. The rucks go at it again. Eyeing off this one is Bresnahan. Fighting for it. Out the back was Corrie. Didn't get to her. It's a sweeping kick outside the square, and it again ends with Barwick. Elise Barwick. Just a little poker. It was touched off the boot, I thought. No, says the umpire. So it's Mackie Sutcliffe ball. She goes for a spearing ball into the pocket. Almost works out. Daniels came across. But out it goes. Some early impact from Sarah Skinner. She's had a couple of clearances. The ball will be thrown in. Deep inside the Glenorchy forward 50. It's gathered straight out of the ruck by Lynch. She shakes off a couple. Gets her kick away. And off to the left. A minor score. But a good start here from Glenorchy. The ball has only ventured their way. And Clarence with a bit of job to do just to get it out of defensive 50 at the minute. So the responsibilities lie with the very talented Maddie Smith. Tucks the footy under her arm and has a look from full back. That's a good kick, but a pretty hot one. It asked a bit of Bresnahan. They take it away now, Glenorchy. Daniels again affects the contest. She's the first one to it at the fall of the ball. Drops it off to Lynch. Thank you very much. Two on the trot for the Magpies. A red hot start for Glenorchy. See it again. It's a fine piece of work by Tate Turvey. Got it to Daniels, and she was sharp at the fall of the ball. Good hands, and Lynch, well, if she's that close to the sticks, she generally finishes off. Hot start here at KG5. So Glenorchy 2 goals, 1 to the good as it stands. The rucks go at it again. Finally, a clearance here for Clarence, but it doesn't go beyond 50. It's going to be a free against. So Glenorchy will venture again out to this broadcast wing where they're favouring a lot of their play. Bresnahan picks up the footy. Jinx one way, takes them on. Good stuff from Bresnahan. Drives inside forward 50, a bouncing ball. Here we go, Clarence. What can they do? try and muster something up. It was Scott who was eyeing it off. In the end, it was agriculturally just heaved out of there with a kick off the ground. Fantastic tackle. Bresnahan not rewarded. Fighting now. It's a wrestle for the footy that will end in a stoppage. So 2 goals. 1 to Nieta Lynch and 1 to Nat Daniels is the difference to date. And yet another stoppage, which has been the case so far in this one. A pretty scrappy start. We're 5 minutes old in this encounter. The ruckman go at it. Down for Bresnahan. She's caught in a Corrie tackle. Gets away with it. So rucks go at it again. It's 1 down and 1 down well. But the Magpies don't gather the footy. A bump off the ball. I think it was Bresnahan really collected a piece of Skinner. He collected the footy but was going nowhere fast. So another stoppage. And again, the rucks do battle. It was Ryan this time, trying to get it out with Clarence through Scott. Eventually they do, just thrown on the boot inside 50. It wasn't mark completed. I'll wrestle for the footy again. Really strong tackle applied by Sarah Davis. And it'll be another stoppage. So out they come here, Clarence. I think it was a legal disposal. The umpire brings it back. So Glenorchy out of defence. It holds up in the wind, but Mac is well won by at least Barwick, being very handy so far in this. He's gobbled up the kick from Skinner. Keeps it moving. There's a whistle, but it's going to be thrown in. So the intended target was Barwick. So almost Barwick to Barwick. Ryan jostles for possession. Taps down. Almost for Bresnahan. Bounding away now was Scott. Bronte Scott. It's cut off for a moment, but Clarence regather the footy. Corrie now with a problem, a really big one. Good tackle there. Away they come through Elliston. A kick meant for Smith eventually gets there. She runs onto it. A powering boot out the back is Williams. She'll help herself. Williams. Opportunistic goal. Cuts the margin. As we see the replay, we talk pre-game about the guns of this Clarence side. We mentioned Williams and we mentioned Smith, both heavily influential in that play. So the margin back to 7 points. Highly efficient stuff there from Clarence. And had a major look inside 50. They did on that occasion and made it count. So ball thrown up. 1 down well. Clarence starting to get in this game a little, but Skinner has had a big influence, as has Elise Barwick, who gets her kick away. Ryan stood under it, didn't gather the footy. Trying to track it down is Mitchell. She's trying to hunt the footy. They eventually work it out. Bronte Scott, the kick was not good. Running into trouble though, in a big way, was Barwick, was caught. Cheers from Glenorchy faithful that had come in for Sarah Skinner's effort. But it is a Clarence Brawls. We watched this again. It was a really strong hunting from Bronte Scott and Nicole Bresnahan. Ball gathered now by Glenorchy. Driving ball inside forward 50. It's well marked by Mitchell. She wasn't sure whether it was a mark, but she'll get to go back. The kick inside forward 50 by Lynch. Wasn't a bad one. It was well cut off by Mitchell. Strong stuff. Good kick inside. She'll look further ahead. Kicking in the direction of the ruckman Elliston. Never really meets her. Handed out now. It's cut off by Glenorchy. Really strong stuff there. They work it out of the contest. Up it goes. Bresnahan eyeing it off. Try and throw it out. It was probably a legal disposal. Coming through again was the ruckman Elliston. Strong pressure from her. Locks it in. Good stuff from both teams there on that occasion. So ball up again. Ryan. Is it down? Soccering was Skinner. To the top of the arc. Mitchell first to it. Gathers and throws it on the boot. It was a long, deep kick. A good one. Really good one for Scott. Kicks in the direction of Blackburn. Blackburn now. Shoved off the footy. Strong physical presence was Williams. But they win it back through Bresnahan. Good kick inside forward 50. Here come the wheels of Williams. She bounds away. I think it's going to be a holding free. She might have fancied the advantage. You'll see this again. It was a good kick from Bresnahan. And it brought Elise Barwick hold. I reckon she would have preferred the advantage. Would have ran into an open goal. But another good opportunity here for Jessie Williams. Smith fakes a cheeky handball, but Williams looks pretty confident from here. Kick every bit of 35 metres. Oh, it's almost found its way through. It's going to be a free kick in the square. Costly stuff for Glenorchy. It was a shove in the back. It's going to go the way of McPherson. McPherson now off the left. Very casual approach, but through the big stick. So Clarence have answered in a big, big way. Here at KG5, they hit back with another. The margin now just a goal. So shit. Just a point, rather. Yep, you've got me there. Producer Ash, well picked up. I should look at the scoreboard. So just a point the margin here, the way of Glenorchy. 2 goals apiece. Lynch and Daniels look like being the dangerous ones inside forward 50. The ball comes out from Alliston. Good pressure applied by Clarence. That's really good stuff from Scott with a spin and a move. And again, Williams is out the back. Can she throw it on the boot? She can. Outstanding stuff, Jessie Williams. Well, that's going to be the play. Quick and out the back, and Williams will make you pay. There she is. She somehow got this on the boot. How that's gone through the middle, I'll never know, but it matters little. In the blink of an eye, Clarence have taken control of this game. They lead it. Jessie Williams has been the fire starter. 2 goals and a 5-point advantage for the Roos. Back in the middle again. The ruckman will duke it out, and they do. It comes down. Stands of Sullivan. Here she is, Skinner. Working away. Not a bad kick. Onto the outer side of the wing. It's a foot race. They'll look to track it down. Soccering again. It's Barwick just keeping alive. And out it goes. So gained a lot of territory there, but pinged for deliberate. The kick inside finds Bresnahan. She hands off. Quick to get going here, Clarence. They look good when Smith is moving. Looks to hand it off. Misses her target, though. This could bring them unstuck. It's with the Glenorchy Footy Club. High up and under us, a bit of Corrie. Soccering was Williams. They keep it moving, Glenorchy through Stanford. We track down. And again, it's just a creative sort of kick down the wing. The bouncing ball for Blackburn. She couldn't gather. They'll keep it moving, though. That has been their modus operandi. Clarence. Ryan gathers right on the defensive arc. Skinner now with a job to do. Confronted. Good stuff from Scott. Just arches the back and kicks towards 50. Almost gathered, not quite. They'll try and break away here, Clarence. Coming from strong. It's just tried to heave inside 50. Skinner will sit under this one. Can't complete the grab. Out it goes. So dying stages of the quarter. And it's been a really good arm wrestle. Glenorchy started hot and Clarence have fought back in a big way. The ruckman again do battle, trying to work her way out of pressure. There was Sullivan. Eventually it comes out, but it's the way of Clarence. Scott couldn't gather. Skinner had more time than she actually did. Out the back, Bresnahan couldn't gather. They keep it moving here. Glenorchy looking for Skinner. It's held up well by Williams. That was important. So they could have got away from the stoppage. Sullivan again brings the ball down to ground level. Clever stuff, just tapping along. Again, it's off the deck, but it's into the arms of the helmeted Smith. She breaks away. Dangerous kick into the corridor. Through the fingers of Bresnahan. Here's Jessie Williams. She's on fire. The ball just short of the intended target. They'll keep it moving, though. That was really sharp stuff from Clarence through Pearce. Now it's Glenorchy's task through Corrie. Jumped into the back of Corrie. Did strong, so it's a Corrie ball. It's Marcia Corrie. Looks down the wing. Looking for a target. Tried to get a ride there. To Barwick. It's going to go the way of Scott. Been pretty impressive in this opening term as Scott. Clarence hold a 5-point lead. She just ran out of time as she went to get a kick away. The double fister was an interesting one. They just shift out the footy here, Glenorchy. They might be in strife as Bresnahan arrives. It was gathered by Barwick. Virtually threw it out. This is scrappy footy. Williams will try and get out of congestion. Misses her handball. Well, that might bring him unstuck. It's a throw, pinged by the umpire. It's going to go the way of Clarence, so that is a let-off. It's Williams. She's been very busy. Hits up a target. Strong stuff into the hands of the most recent goal kicker. Her kick was meant for Bresnahan, was overcooked. Corrie gobbled it up. Onto the outer side they head. Here's Skinner. Skinner now. Kicking towards centre half forward. Didn't quite reach it. Try with a follow-up here, Glenorchy. Williams again, soccering. Now they're fighting for the footy. This is good, hard stuff. And it's a stoppage. It's Tate Turvey at the bottom of it. So up they go again. The Clarence ruckman will be Cray, but it's won by Sullivan. Kick inside forward 50 was almost gobbled up by Mitchell. She looks to follow up. Good tackle on Tate Turvey. The ball came out. Mitchell keeps going. We'll try and hand it out at the back. Smith was there. Tate Turvey again. Just punches it into vacant space. Might open up something for Shaw. Shaw now. Gathers the footy. Shaw has her ball blocked. They're still under the pump here. Siren saves Clarence. They'll go into the opening corner huddle with a valuable 5-point lead. So 2-1. Glenorchy plays 3 straight Clarence. Been efficient inside forward 50. We'll take a look at the goal kickers. So Williams been very dangerous with 2 goals to her name. McPherson with 1, Lynch and Daniels with 1 apiece. We'll take a brief break now from commentary and be back shortly with the second turn. Two teams break out of their huddles, and Clarence would be the happier team, or Glenorchy still in their huddle, in fact. But Clarence would be really happy with their response. First 2 goals of the game came in quick time from Glenorchy. Lynch and Daniels. Daniels involved in both of them. Lynch looked pretty dangerous, but from there, Glenorchy didn't really venture forward too much, and a lot of time was cut off at half-back by the likes of Mitchell. Clarence really got the ascendancy in the game with some fast ball movement and deep entries inside forward 50, and when they did, well, the absolute danger that is Jessie Williams came to the fore, and she kicked 2 goals. Possibly could have had a third. A set shot from about 35 didn't make the journey, but resulted in a goal anyway, and Clarence have a valuable lead. They are 3 straight, as I said, 2-1 Glenorchy. But an arm wrestle, very similar to their previous encounters, namely the grand final of 2018, which ultimately ended in the smallest margins, going the way of the Magpies. So, crowd slowly making their way in here at KG5. Ones that do will be treated to a great Wrest Point TSLW contest. We're in the middle again. The ruckman go at it. It's won by Sullivan. Fisted away from Scott. Here is Bresnahan breaking away. A bouncing ball toward 50 is just slapped back to her. She swung in a good tackle, and that'll be time up for Bresnahan. She's pinged for incorrect disposal. It'll go the way of Sullivan, the ruckman. So Sullivan, not a bad kick. Almost finds its way to Sutcliffe, but he's cut off. Cut off well. They move it across the ground. It's a dangerous kick meant for Scott. Coming through with Smith. She combines with Bresnahan. Oh, ball blocked at the crucial moment. Handing out was Barwick. Try their darndest here, Clarence. It's Scott again. She's been quite impressive. Soccering away with Sutcliffe. Now it's a foot race between Barwick and Smith, and then it's cut out well by Sutcliffe. Bit of ingenuity. Kicking towards 50 with Sutcliffe. It was well chopped out in the end by Clarence. Good defensive stuff there from Archer, and they'll move it out with hands now. Here's Smith. Sees something she likes, and that's Bresnahan in the bullseye. So Bresnahan, it's a fair bit to kick to. Goes for a bit of a low-flying bullet. It's swallowed by the Magpies. And it's moved away. There's a deep kick. It's cut off, and it'll come back off the boot of Glenorchy, Clarence defender rather, Archer. They soccer on the far side here. Good tackle. It'll be a stoppage. So good pressure applied by the Roos. Just to slow down, put the brakes on the Magpies there on the outer side here at KG5. So patted down. Good stuff from Sullivan. They'll break away here, Clarence. A good entry inside forward 50. Where's Williams is what everyone's asking. Forget about Williams as Clarence get a shot away. It's not going to make the journey. Williams first to it, but into the woodwork. Well, we should have been asking where Williams was. It was a kick from Brianna McDonald. It didn't quite make the journey. Sat up quite nicely for the former soccer star. Got there first. Good body position, but just not the finish. Back with live action. Bresnahan now gathering. Tries to get her way through a couple. Worked pretty well. Cut off by Sullivan. Fighting for it on hands and knees. Umpire says I'll have it. So 6-point advantage for Clarence. 3-1. Plays 2-1. Ruckman go at it again as they fight for it. It's been a pretty sort of congested game. Coming up with the footy there for Clarence. Tell you what, they've looked pretty good when they've got into open play, Clarence. Here's Sutcliffe. That was not legal disposal, but it looks like she's got away with it, Sutcliffe. because Smith has been pinged for holding. So it's with Mackie Sutcliffe. Ball towards 50 now. That's a great kick. It was a great mark, in fact. They wrestled afterwards. I'm not sure either player or attacker or defender knew much about it. Here's Daniels now, arrives. Couldn't complete the grab. Oh, picked a pocket, did take Turvey. Minor score. So cuts the margin, but only by a point. That was sharp stuff. Really strong mark. Taken at the paint of 50. I think it was Davis. So now it's Archer to bring him out of full back. High booming boot. Arriving over the back was Barwick. Didn't quite complete the grab. They'll work it out. It's a good kick for Clarence. And it's well worked by Williams. Williams now to Scott. Back for Williams. Does well in traffic. Weaved away through. Cut through like a knife through hot butter, but that's a great mark taken by Ryan. Good defensive effort there by Ryan. That's the task. Their intended target. That's a really strong mark taken by Wise. So Wise heads inboard. Ball doesn't reach her target. Now asked a bit of Scott. She's been pretty good. So you'd expect her to battle well here. She's wrapped up in a strong tackle. Yet to Lynch. Had a really strong bear hug going nowhere. So stoppage again inside the centre square. Over the top was Sullivan. Commanding stuff, feeding out a handball. She butters up and follows up her work, and it'll be another stoppage. So ball out of there by Alliston, but it goes the way of the Magpies. Kick inside forward 50 is cut off. It's a good defensive grab. They'll work it away now. Mark taken by Catherine Johnson. Looks up, and what does she see? She's got an easy target. She bites off a bit of a trickier one. Mackie Sutcliffe cuts it off now for the Magpies. Feed it back inboard. Skinner gone. The umpire off the ball has found something. Plucked a free kick. It's going the way of Glenorchy, so maybe quite fortuitous there for the Magpies. Kick inside forward 50 from Tate Turvey. Going back was Archer. Just deals with her opponent. Mitchell is shoved right off it. They should get it out of here. Archer bounced well for Wise. Kick meant for Williams. Couldn't impact the contest. Kick coming back in now for the Magpies. Target is Lynch. Cut off by Mitchell. She's shoved off the footy, and Tate Turvey. Fantastic stuff from Tate Turvey. Pounced on the loose ball and threaded the needle. So Glenorchy kick another. It was Jasmine Tate Turvey. Really sharp finish. Just muscled off Mitchell and finished off very nicely. So Glenorchy 3-2. Clarence 3-1. So the Rucks go at it again. Sullivan coming across. It should be another stoppage as Bresnahan just brings proceedings screeching to a halt. So 2019 is the year, and it is the scoreline. It's one down by Sullivan. Soccering away was Skinner. She had Wise in hot pursuit. And I think Wise may have offended there. She did, so it'll go the way of Skinner. Skinner, long and strong, really good kick, but it's going to be Smith first to it. She'll chop it off for Clarence. Hands out. In a spot of bother here, but Archer good enough to navigate the situation. Kicking towards the defensive arc. Mitchell was the target. Does enough to see it over. So 1 point lead for Glenorchy. Here in a double header. TSL game to follow this one as the ball comes in again. Shallow throw. It's just gathered straight out of the ruck for Glenorchy. Bounding through. Here's Mackie Sutcliffe. Couldn't gather the footy. Smith with a strong crunching tackle. She's won the footy and all that. Coming through is Bresnahan. Just tries to shake off her would-be tackler. There's a whistle. Thought the non-officiating umpire had something to say there, but it's just going to be a contest. Daniels now beaten in the ruck by Alston, but she's there to gather footy. Shakes off one, almost interrupted there by Bresnahan. Here's Clarence. Can they work it out with the Weber handballs? Thrown on the boot. It's not going to find a target. There's a couple of Glenorchy players there eyeing it off, but none of them able to cut it off. So probably a win for the Magpies. They keep it in the right part of the ground. So the ball come in. That throw's got a little bit too much on it. Alston brings it down. Out the backs. Bresnahan, if they can find her, they do. Tries to wrestle off a couple. That was probably holding the footy. Eventually it works out okay for Clarence. Williams just trying to protect her space. Couldn't gather the footy. Ryan's out the back for Glenorchy. Sutcliffe gathers. Did Wise get ahead? Yes, she did. So it'll be Sutcliffe. Looks pretty sure on the ball. That's a strong kick inside forward 50. Here's Barwick. Wrestled off it. Terrific tackle. Not rewarded. Mitchell scampers out the footy. They're away now here, Clarence. Here's Smith. This way, that away. Tries to chisel a ball. Barwick now. Paddling in the direction of Sutcliffe. They fight for the footy. Wise sees it over. We see it again. Terrific tackle on Barwick. It was Scott. She's been very impressive. The ball to be thrown in. One down by Sullivan. They fight for the footy. It was probably high there on Bresnahan. They get away with it, the Maggies. Sullivan ensure the ball doesn't budge from the broadcast wing here. KG5, second quarter. Real arm wrestle. It's one down by Sullivan again. Scott. They feed it out here. Clarence, they'll have a couple of goes at this. It's going to go the way of Glenorchy, so that was really good stuff. It looked like Clarence were out of dodge, but now it's going to come back in through Barwick. Kick inside forward 50 met for Stanford. Doesn't quite reach it. Kept alive by Archer. It might not work out well for her. Oh, no. That's a disaster for Clarence. Archer thought she was doing the right thing, you see, by keeping it alive, but she gave it straight to Stanford, who spots up Daniels, and Daniels won't miss from this distance. Tucks it home. Glenorchy extend their lead. That one will hurt. 4-2-26, 3-1-19. Another for Daniels. Now the equal top goal kicker on the ground, along with Jessie Williams. So Glenorchy have definitely had the better of this quarter. They've kicked 2 goals. Clarence have only kicked the minor score. So ball up again. The Rucks go at it. Commanding hit out from Sullivan, but it's all Scott. If she can gather, she does. Farms it out. Ball will come back inboard. They've done okay here, Clarence. Bresnahan with a job to do, though. Does well to impede Skinner. Just getting around her was Barwick. Great stuff. Mitchell sits under a high ball, gathers a hot footy. Does well, Mitchell. Arches the back. Nudgy little ball. Really strong footy there from Mitchell. Shaking off with Scott. Sharp stuff into the middle. Barwick just sees it out of there with a socker. And it will be headed toward forward 50 again. This time it was from Holly Barwick. Kick inboard was a low-flying bullet. Almost there for Tate Turvey. They try and work it out to Clarence through Catherine Johnson. It's just a swarming maul forward. Tate Turvey pounces on the footy and is wrapped up well by Archer. So ball up, forward 50 here for the Magpies. They've got the ascendancy, commanding hit out. Kick away. Doesn't quite work out for Scott, but it was well gathered and well moved by the Roos. It'll come back though. It was Skinner who tried to just work her way through, no space. Tried to just make a hole for herself to burrow through. There wasn't one. So Clarence will make their way onto the outer side. Fantastic running there from Bresnahan towards forward 50. Good mark, Glenorchy. It's going. So Bresnahan hasn't quite hit those targets inside forward 50 just yet. Spot up a tackle. Here's Sarah Davis. Spot up a tackle, spot up a target rather, as Davis looks to go in board. A dangerous kick. Proven so. As Smith gathers. A nudgy little ball is good for Williams. One way, then the other. Williams towards the arc. Good low flying kick. It's worked out okay. She's followed up her efforts. Scott just throws it on the boot. High up and under. Not gathered. Williams there sniffing around it. If they can get it out the back, we know she'll have a big impact. Kick not going far at all there. It's brought down by Corrie. She's done well in traffic, but it might come back in. In fact, it's very likely to, as Smith takes good defensive mark. She's got up very proppy though. Very, very proppy. Smith now. Here's Bresnahan. Just ducks and arches the back. Kicks deep. Looking for Williams. She'll track it down in the pocket. Does well, almost shakes off the tackle, but doesn't in the end. I went a bit early with it, does well, as Ryan brings her down and takes the footy. So Ryan outside of defence. Wise with the sit, couldn't bring it down. Terrific tackle made by Pearce. She's had some good moments, good glimpses in this game. So where will she head with this footy? Kick straight into the middle. Barwick almost chopped it off. There's a whistle. It's going to go the way of the Magpies. Free kick count would be heavily favoured the way of Glenorchy. Just a few careless efforts from the Roos costing them in this one, as Barwick from deep in defence tries to move it further. Here's her namesake. Barwick away now, going nowhere. Fantastic tackle. So good pressure applied. Clarence, just make sure it doesn't leave their half of the ground. Scott's offering wide if she wants to head that way. Just goes a pokey little ball. Doesn't end in Clarence's arms. Try and work it out here, Clarence. It's pretty good stuff in the end, but we're unstuck by a throw. That's happened quite a bit. It was Scott's throw. Be a Ryan ball. Ryan just pops it up, gives it a little bit of air, calls for a couple of runners. Here's Mitchell, really good stuff. Pokes it into the middle. Pushed off it was Bresnahan. They'll do well here, Glenorchy. Ball comes out. Comes back in off the boot of Clarence. I think it was Mitchell again. Done some nice things. Skinner now with a job to do. She's got a couple of Clarence players to contend with. Just dealt with by Bresnahan. In comes the ball from Pearce. Cut off by Barwick, or is it Sutcliffe? Might be the latter. The outside runner was Skinner. Here is Sutcliffe, outside of the Buddha. Not going to work for her as Wise chops off. There's a whistle. It's a downfield free kick, so it'll be a Jessie Williams ball as we enter the dying stages of this second term. Anything that happens here is quite important. So Jessie Williams has the short spot up in Smith, ignores that, just pokes to vacant space. They've still got on the right area of the ground, Clarence. Here's Smith. She's dropped the footy, lucky to get away with it. They'll work it out with hands. Sutcliffe brought to the ground. There's a whistle and it's going the way of Glenorchy. And that draws curtains on a fascinating first half of footy here at KG5. The lead belongs to Glenorchy at this point. But the game very, very far from over as we We'll get the goal kickers up in a moment. Second term, 1 and run. And it's going the way of Glenorchy as it sits. 2 goals for Nat Daniels, 1 for Nieta Lynch. Tate Turvey, a really clever finish. And they kicked 2 goals in that quarter. Clarence couldn't hit the scoreboard in a major way. Only the minor score in that term. And it came from Jesse Williams, who socked and couldn't find the middle of the big sticks. It was up against the woodwork. So the game still well and truly up for grabs. 7-point margin the way of the Magpies. Grand final replay here in Wrest Point TSLW round 6 action. Stay with us. We'll have a brief break for half time and be back with the third quarter. About Williams as Clarence get a shot away. It's not going to make the journey. Williams first to it, but into the woodwork. Wrestled afterwards. I'm not sure either player or attacker or defender knew much about it. Here's Daniels now, arrives, couldn't complete the grab. Oh, picked a pocket, did take Turvey. Minor score. So cuts them through. Cut through like a knife through hot butter, but that's a great mark taken by Ryan. Good defensive effort there by Ryan. That's the task for intended target. That's a really strong mark from Tate Turvey. Going back was Archer, just deals with her opponent. Mitchell is shoved right off it. The Magpies, target is Lynch. Cut off by Mitchell. She's shoved off the footy and Tate Turvey. Fantastic stuff from Tate Turvey. Pounced on the loose ball and threaded the needle. 50. Here's Barwick. Wrestled off it. Terrific tackle. Not rewarded. Mitchell, he met for Stanford. Doesn't quite reach it. Kept alive by Archer. It might not work out well for her. Oh, no. She gave it straight to Stanford, who spots up Daniels, and Daniels won't miss from this distance. Tucks it home. Glenorchy extend their lead. That one will hurt. Oh, Skinner, who tried to just work her way through no space. Tried to just make a hole for herself to burrow through. For Williams, she'll track it down in the pocket. Does well, almost shakes off the tackle, but doesn't in the end. I went a bit early with it. Fence tries to move it further. Here's her namesake. Barwick away now, going nowhere. Fantastic tackle. Skinner now with a job to do. She's got a couple of Clarence players to contend with. Just dealt with by Bresnan. In comes the ball from...
I'll bet they Statewide Cup final for sure. They got Kimber in that. They should win that. Yeah, well they did well to knock off Olympia. I've only watched a bit of it in this time, but Olympia was pretty handy. Meant to be very interesting. Yeah, that one where he kicked the penalty. Yeah. That was unbelievable. You're working for FT, isn't it?
So back for the second half. A valuable 7-point lead at half time for the Glenorchy Magpies. We ran through some of the highlights. It's been an interesting game so far, a bit of a seesawing affair. Started favouring the Magpies, and then Clarence came back in a big way. Sparked mainly from Jesse Williams, some good involvements by Smith as we see this sharp finish from Tate Turvey. Really good stuff. That was one of 2 goals in the second quarter for Glenorchy that's given them back a lead. That is a moment I think Archer would like to have again. They just kept it alive, Stanford. And Nat Daniels doesn't miss from there. So now we sit with a 7-point margin favouring Glenorchy. Game up for grabs. Start all important for the Roos. Sullivan's been pretty handy in the ruck for the Magpies. As the Rucks go at it. Ball down. Skinner arrives first. Sorry, it was Barwick. Gathering was Scott. Scott looking for Bresnahan by hand. Sullivan who farmed it out. They wrestle for the footy. Scott just overseeing it. Barwick over the top of her, and then it was just helped out to take Turvey. She slaps one inside forward 50. Follows up her own work. Shields the ball. Will come out eventually from Stanford. Here's Mitchell. Does well through traffic. Really sharp stuff. Mitchell asks a bit of Bresnahan. Sits under it and taps down for a runner. They're away now, the Roos. Seen through nicely by Blackburn. Somehow got back to her. A grubber from her might not work out. Corrie just tucks the footy under her arm and runs away. Kicks the vacant space. Tracking it down well for Clarence was Wise. Had support in Mitchell. It might come in through Skinner. Shields it to a teammate. Now it's with Barwick. Now Sutcliffe. Just brushes off Mitchell. Kick inside forward 50. Brought down by Archer. Still there now for the Magpies as they wrestle for the footy. As Stanford over the ball. Coming in to have an impact as well. Searley, Eliza Searley, who's now nominated for the ruck. She'll go at it with Elliston. Elliston down. Almost there for Bresnahan. Coming out with Searley. No, she's not coming out. Elliston makes sure of that. So another stoppage. Defensive 50 for the Roos, and they're the ones that are trailing in this contest. Elliston down. Flashing through was Barwick. Didn't gather the footy. It's going to go the way of the Roos. So a free kick for Scott. She's been in everything for the red and white. Nudgy little ball is good. Archer providing an option round the back, and that's where they head. So Archer now. High ball. Outer wing. Asked to a lot of the intended target, which of course was Chantel McPherson, an early goal kicker. Sullivan held. She'll get a free kick. So it'll be Sullivan ball. It is Webberley guarding the mark. So in comes a ball inside forward 50. Good kick, good mark, good footy. Stanford had a strong involvement in the last Magpies goal. What can she do here? Tries to spot up a target in Lynch. Couldn't bring down the footy. They scurry it clear. Scott threw it. That's how the umpire viewed it. So it'll be a Glenorchy ball inside 50. Stanford having a strong couple of minutes. So Stanford now eager to get moving. Kicking in the direction of Sutcliffe. Couldn't bring it down. They run it out now. The Roos, really strong stuff. Falls out the back. Ryan farms it out. Sullivan back to her. Here's Ryan. Gets by one. Ground grubber. Might work out for Stanford. Has an opponent on. She's there with Webberley. Comes out for Alliston. Snapping out of defence, and boundary line will beat all. So it'll go, of course, the last touch rule. It'll go the way of Corrie. So Tomasa Corrie had some nice involvements inside the field of play now, so being called to play on. Wasn't too happy with it. She'll have to hand it out. Gets it off to Skinner, who's probably held after she got rid of it, but Clarence are on here if they can pick their targets wisely. And there is Wise. He puts it straight down the throat of Ryan, and they're away now. Glenorchy, not if Bresnahan has anything to do with it. Finds Williams, keen to move in traffic. Kicks further afield. Not much offering for the Roos, really. Cohen able to track it down. Kicks beyond defensive 50. Clarence now. They'll work it out. Alliston got it out of the back of the stoppage. Kicking in, but it's all black and white. Chopped off with good effect by Jade Williams, but it might come back in for the Roos. Here's Wise. Wise inside forward 50 now. Ryan, a good grab. So the intended target was Stand and never found her, and little ball from Ryan found Daniels, usually pretty silky by foot. King beyond defensive 50. Wrapping up in a good tackle was Bresnahan. Be another stoppage. So Barwick in the ruck. Jules Alston. Barwick won it down. They wrestle for the footy. Here's Skinner. Sockers it in front of herself. Coming across for a couple of Roos. They farm it out well. Wise out of time. Gets the ball away. Bouncing towards Alliston. Sullivan interrupted play. Good stuff. She'll have another soccer. Oh no, it's gone through her legs. It's letting the opposing ruckman. So the next few minutes or so might be important for Clarence. Next goal, all important. The rucks go at it again. Out the back. It was all Glenorchy. Barwick eyeing it off. Wise gets it out. Bresnahan now with a bit of room to do something. Hands it straight into trouble. Bresnahan off the deck. Picked up by Alliston. Dealt with. Gathered by Skinner. Out for Barwick. Bouncing ball towards 50. Tate Turvey did well to find herself in best position. A little kick to a player that was all alone. Starting to make a real nuisance of herself is Stanford. Just found herself in a pocket of space, and it was really well-directed kick from Tate Turvey. And Stanford collects the grab and will line up for a big shot on goal. It's out. It's Wayward to left. Didn't make the journey. Now to Lynch. Shields the footy. And it'll be a stoppage inside forward 50. Lynch nominates for the ruck. What'll happen here? I'd fancy she might try and take this out of there. Double-handed down. Scott now. Out of defence for the Roos. Cut off by Barwick. Barwick has someone on the outside. They'll work their way out of traffic. It was Barwick again. Come inside forward 50. A good kick almost for Tate Turvey. Feeds it out straight under trouble. There's Sutcliffe. Or Barwick rather. Elise Barwick. Fantastic finish. Knows where the goals are. Does Elise Barwick. And that is a really important goal for the Magpies in this contest. They extend their lead. They're going to be hard to stop from here. Barwick just slapped it on the boot. Saw it open up for her and finished off very, very nicely. They extend their advantage. 5-2-32. The Roos 3-1-19. Roos need a rapid response. We're back in the middle again. It's one down. Again in the middle. Getting stoppage ascendancy. Errant handball from Bresnahan lets in Sullivan. She's kicking strongly, looking for Stanford. Wrestles off an opponent. It's going to be a free kick for Stanford. She was dealt with afterwards. Again, it's Archer. Just done some ill-disciplined things tonight. The kick on goal is a beauty. An absolute beauty. We'll have to go to the replay, but it was handed off again to Elise Barwick. And she nails it. Here we go again. The quick hand slapped on the boot. Barwick. The wind might have helped her a little bit, but a fantastic finish for Barwick. So 2 quick time goals from Elise Barwick. Signals real danger signs now for the Roos. They're in a spot of bother. They open up a handy butt for Glenorchy. 6-2-38, 3-1-19. We're in the third term. Out of the middle, Jessie Williams. It's more like it for the Roos. Just slapping away was Cohen. Good body work by Corrie, but now she's got a job to do and she's caught. Really good tackle. It'll be Wise. Good tackle on Corrie. So, to say the Roos need a goal is a gross understatement. Kick in board. Arriving was Williams. Arrived a little too late to interrupt it. Ball will come outside a defensive 50 for the Magpies. Here's Barwick. Tries to shake off the tackle. She's ragdolled to the surface. They'll be holding the footy. Terrific tackle. I'm not sure what Barwick thought was going to be the result there as she got up. Handed on by Scott. They'll take them on. I like it from the Roos. Inside forward 50. Eyed off by Ryan. She didn't interrupt it though. Slapping on the boot. Minor score for the Roos. It was Layla Standen. We see here, deep spiralling entry. Caused a bit of chaos. I don't mind. Standen found a way in a bit of space and couldn't finish the business. We're back live. Barwick brings it out from defence. One of the chest to take Turvey. I've liked her game. Kicks for Stanford, been very good. Couldn't quite gather. Archer minding her. Farms it out. Here's Lynch. Been reasonably well held. Lynch with a bounce. Oh, she's lost the footy. Got Stanford riding shotgun. Stanford inside forward 50. Mackie Sutcliffe. So the Premiers are looking a good thing here at their home venue. Flexing their muscles in terms 2 and 3. Sutcliffe can put an exclamation point on their recent work. Very casual approach. Sutcliffe straight into the mark. Here she goes again. Sutcliffe. Well, she didn't nail it with the first attempt, but she did on the second one. Another goal for Glenorchy. And they are putting their foot down in this contest. We see it again. Sutcliffe smothered off the boot. Butted up. Was able to have another crack at it and redeemed. And kicked the Magpies. 7th of the game. 7-2-44, 3-1-19. It's got ugly in a flash here for the Roos. Glenorchy storming away to what will be a big victory. It's down from Alston. Out of the middle with some dashes, Williams. Opts to hand off. I'm not sure she would have loved her decision in the end as Corrie feeds it out. Here's Bresnahan. Get her into the game. Tries to find a target. Cut off again by Corrie. No, it's Daniels bustling through. Good stuff. She was caught, but just got her kick away, said the umpire. Here's Corrie. Interrupted. Good pressure from the Magpies. Daniels there. Comes out for Williams. She'll try and get by one. Just breezes past them. Kicks goalward. Kicks very, very well, Jessie Williams. 3rd of the evening. And gives the Roos a pulse. Jessie Williams showing a real strong leg there. Getting the journey. She looks like being the one if the Roos are any hope. Back in the middle again. The score 7-2 to 4-1. So they need another couple of those in quick succession. The Roos back in the middle. The rucks go out. Sullivan down for Barwick. She couldn't get the footy away. Gathered in the end. Alston in it. Bit of spot of bother. Found a bit of space and dropped it off for Williams. She's having a big influence. Found Bresnahan. If they can find Bresnahan more, They're every chance. That's a terrific kick, wasting no time. They're away now. Wise eyes the goals. Kicks it! Well, they've fought back in a big way here, the Roos. They look dead and buried. 2 in the flash. Goals from Williams and Wise. And here they come, Clarence. So game on, 7-2, plays 5-1. They didn't look like kicking a goal, and they've kicked 2 with 2 strong centre clearances. It's a great kick from Bresnahan that really opened up the play on that occasion. Sullivan again, slapped down. Scott, here's Wise. She's been pretty good. Loses the footy, back for Scott. Kicked into the middle. Allison tries to brush him off, does well. Here's Wise. This game may have twists or turns to come. Williams being the fire starter, the igniter, gets a kick away. Will it bounce well? Will it bounce well? Absolutely! Williams with a 4th. And Clarence claw their way back to within a goal. Outstanding stuff. They're just 7 points adrift now. Jessie Williams has shown her wares in a big way. 7 goals, 2, 6-1. And a lot of their good work, Clarence, has been off the back of Jessie Williams. She's kicked 4 to this point in the game and showing express speed. And just a knack for finding the middle of the sticks. Back in the middle again. The Rucks go at it. Bresnahan eyes it off. Sullivan jumping on top. Trying to farm it out. She does eventually. Arriving is Elise Barwick. Burrowing past her was Bresnahan. Finds her target. Riding the tackle was Daniels. Did enough to see it out. Out the back was Sullivan. Finds Barwick. It's cut off. This might work okay. Blackburn gets a boot away. Wise looking at it. Battling with Corrie. Gets her hands out. Here's Skinner. It's going to go the way of the Roos. So the ball bouncing for them at the moment, and the decision's going their way. Is pinged for illegal disposal. Wise shifts it wide. Oh, slipping through the fingers of Scott, and she soccers, but Bresnahan's found a bit of space to go to work. She'll shake off one. Kicks in ball. Great kick! Blackburn. This will take her best for about 35. 35 out. Bresnahan again showcasing some strong kicking. Spotting up Blackburn on this occasion, close to the mark. Just pops it up. That's good. It's going to work. Almost for Williams. Just found her way to the front. Couldn't bring down the mark. Eventually comes out with a footy, but not before the umpire blew his whistle. It's a 7-point margin. Lynch going back there to ruck it. It's kicked out by Skinner. Safety first approach. They bring it down, Glenorchy. That's well gathered by the Roos. They'll try and feed it out through Allison, almost. Wise pressuring strongly. There's Allison again. Comes out and farmed out almost for Bresnahan. Just interrupted by Tate Turvey. Sitting under it is Mitchell. Couldn't quite gather the footy. It's brought down for Glenorchy. Almost there for Barwick. Comes from Allison. Here's Bresnahan. She arrives on the scene. Kicking for Williams. Couldn't complete the grab. Paddles to herself and kicks a ripper! Jessie Williams is having a night out! 5th goal right on the 3/4 time siren and draws the lead back to just a point for Glenorchy. What a game of football. An absolute cracker we have here at KG5. Jessie Williams, chief destroyer. 5 of 7 goals for Clarence, and showing why she was on the books at North Melbourne, Tasmania Kangaroos, that's for sure. So we see her latest work there. Bresnahan and Williams, especially Williams, having a major say. They look gone. did Clarence. They'd only kicked 3 goals. In a flash, they've put 4 on the board with some exquisite ball movement out of the middle and some really sharp finishing inside forward 50. And without a doubt, best on the ground by quite a stretch has been Jesse Williams. Been absolutely fantastic. As we have a look at the goal kickers, it's a big term in the end for the Roos. It didn't look like playing out that way. Like Glenorchy going to finish it off. Goals coming 2 to Barwick in real quick succession. I thought it signalled the end for the Roos, but they rallied. And it was Jesse Williams who's kicked 5, not 4. That might update in a second. And they're 7-2-44 and it's 7-1-43. So they're only a point adrift. Not quite what the score says on the sheet, but that'll update soon enough, I'm sure. But a really big quarter of footy. Started an arm wrestle. It looked like Glenorchy were going to put them to bed. And Jesse Williams rallied the Roos. Now it's game on as we turn for the last. Stay with us. I'll have a brief break from commentary. We'll be back with an action-packed last quarter here from KG5.
Fantastic finish.
No things tonight. The kick on goal is a beauty. An absolute beauty. We'll have to go to the replay, but it was handed off again to Elise Barwick. Very casual approach. Sutcliffe straight into the mark. Here she goes again. Sutcliffe. Well, she didn't nail it with the first attempt, but she did on the second one. The Magpies. Daniels there, comes out for Williams. She'll try and get by one. Just breezes past him. Kicks goalward. Kicks very, very well, Jesse Williams. Third of the evening. And gives the rush him off, does well. Here's Wise. This game may have twists or turns to come. Williams being the fire starter, the igniter, gets a kick away. Will it bounce well? Will it bounce well? Absolutely! Williams with a 4th. And Clarence from Alison. Here's Bresnan. She arrives on the scene, kicking for Williams. Couldn't complete the grab. Paddles to herself and kicks a ripper! Jesse Williams is having a night out! So back for the last quarter, and what a third quarter it was. With scores are level, as the umpires have updated. So scores are in fact level. Our producer here was correct. The local scoreboard incorrect. So scores are level as we enter the last quarter. Jess, well, we thought Elise Barwick's 2 goals in quick succession was going to put an end to the contest. But arriving was Jessie Williams, kicking 3 goals in no time. Bring Clarence right back into this game. 5 for the game, Jessie Williams. It's been quite an outing. An exciting prospect for women's football in Tasmania is Jessie Williams. Lightning quick. Just knows how to finish off. So we're back in the middle. Clarence and Glenorchy. Old foes, played in the grand final last year. Game up for grabs, scores a level. Here she is, Jessie Williams out of the middle, soccering. Cut off by Corrie. Kicking to the outer side. Good pressure being applied. They move it. Daniels the target, takes it on her chest. So Daniels has played a bit back, a bit forward. Good kick, but it lands in vacant space. It might just let in Stanford though. Archer arrives, cuts it off. She keeps it alive again though. Bit of fortune on her side this time. It finds its way through. So scores level here at KG5. We thought it was a point the difference. The scoreboard was wrong, but now it's not scores a level as Glenorchy get the minor score. A little kick is good for Williams, and she'll make her way out of defence. Williams, a good ball out in front of... Sorry, it wasn't Williams, it was Mitchell. Good ball meant for Williams. They gather the footy. Kicking up the line, good punch for Glenorchy. Arriving well. They'll move it through Barwick. Barwick inside forward 50. Stanford leads the foot race. Not a lot of room. In the end, it finds its way out. So, point the difference. Apologies for my confusion over the score. I was going off the big scoreboard here. Should have trusted a very trusty producer in Ash. Knew what was going on as Ryan takes it out of the ruck. She's caught and gone. Good defensive tackle from the Roos. There's one made by Johnson. Johnson called to go. Chipping ball. It's going to ask a fair bit of the intended target in Scott. She gathers. Brushes off one tackle but lost the footy. Soccer by Corrie. Arriving was Barwick. Lost the ball. Ryan now. It's gathered well by the Roos but going nowhere. It's coming in for the Magpies. Cut off by Mitchell. Got some smarts about it. Finds Bresnahan. Good mark. Bresnahan now with some acreage to do her work. Kicks forward and cut off. So that attack was brought unstuck pretty early, but Bresnahan, good body position, good grab. She's pinged for a push. Bit stiff, I reckon. It's going to go the way of Tate Turvey. Bresnahan with a bit of attitude to the ump. Comes away at Tate Turvey. Turvey inside, forward 50. The numbers with Clarence. Chopping off with aplomb was Mitchell. Unfortunately, the kick is ill-directed. Lands in the arms of Jade Williams. Williams now, a deep entry. Out the back is Archer. But ahead of her was Barwick. Oh, a minor score. Barwick showing a clean set of heels to Archer. But could only find a point as we watch this one again. It was a deep entry. It looked like Archer had cut off, but Barwick just crept her way in. Threw it on the boot, but kicked the post. So, fortuitous for the Roos, and that's a good defensive grab. Taken by the Roos defender in Pearce. Pearce kicking down the line. Wise arrives. Been pretty darn good as Wise. Kicks inboard now. Williams doesn't get to her as Sullivan gets hands to the footy. Comes for Skinner. She's run out of time. Good tackle applied by Williams. Kick inboard now. Deep entry. It'll be cut off. They had one sitting in the hole, did the Roos. They'll make their way out of defence now. Away they go. It was intended for Scott. Arriving was Wise again. She's got Sutcliffe riding it. And it'll be a ball up. 7-4, 46, 7-2, 44, 2-point margin. Early running in the last term, the way of Glenorchy. Sullivan takes the ruck unopposed. It's gathered by the ruck Sullivan. In the end, umpire says enough of that, I'll have it. Ball to be thrown up. Alston out the back, gathered by Williams, this way, that way, Williams bursts away, finds a target, almost for Scott. Williams again creative, but it's into the arms of Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe now looks across the field. Mitchell eyes it off for the Roos. It's Barwick battling with Archer. There's Mitchell. Glides by one. Pinpoint target. Finds Bresnahan, who'll cool the Jets. Look ahead and find something she likes on the outer side. So good ball movement here from the Roos. That one not quite, as it's cut off by Lynch. Comes back with real purpose. Barwick juggles the footy but has time to mop up. Pinpoint ball. This is good stuff into the arms of Stanford. Got a strong impact for the Pies. She picks out Daniels, almost with a juggler. It'll come out of defence for the Roos. Big swinging ball forward. Sutcliffe eyes it off. Very casually goes to take the mark. Can't quite gather, but then mops up wonderfully. Sitting under the high ball was Bresnahan. Cut it off and they'll move it out of defence, the Roos. Just need a mark to cool the Jets. Skinner, almost with the one hand. Farms out a handball. Coming through traffic with Sutcliffe. And they work it inside forward 50. It'll be a stoppage near the paint of 50. 7-4, 46, 7-2, 44. And the ruck again. Sullivan being dominant in that area. Ryan just paddling towards Elise Barwick. She's kicked two already. Good tackle inside forward 50. Umpire disagrees. Holding. So it'll go the way of the Roos. It's Johnson to bring them out of defence. Next goal is massive in terms of this contest. Scott, good grab. So Bronte Scott has to pinpoint something. Looks in board, doesn't find his target. Corey just muscles off one and gets it to Lynch. Lynch tries to keep it moving. Bresnahan met with solid pressure. Another stoppage. So Sullivan drinking out with Alston. Here comes Barwick coming through. The other way was Bresnahan. Throws it on the boot. Got to be creative. Picked up by Sutcliffe. Ball blocked, but Steele gets some distance. Gathered by Ryan. Hot footy. Barwick keeps it moving. There's her namesake. Here's Elise Barwick. Already kicked two. Just kicks. Probably to follow up herself, and she does. Crying for a free kick. None coming. But a stoppage. So 7-4, 7-2. An arm wrestle. Forward 50 for the Magpies. On hands and knees, they battle away. Ball not budging. Cold night here at KG5, but a hot contest. Out the back is Bresnahan. Brings it out of defence. A spiralling ball. Bounces into the arms of Corrie. She brushes off a couple. Kicks deep. Daniels the target. Just overran it. Out the back, it's all Magpies. Oh no, a fresh airy. It was there for Glenorchy. It was Searley who was on her own. She went for the soccer and missed the footy. So Clarence now with an opportunity. Wise gathered. Hands it off. Running out of time was Scott. Good tackle applied by Sullivan. They're able to butter up. Alston virtually threw it over her head, but it was reasonably well played. Wise forward now. Sutcliffe just acting as the goalkeeper back there. for the Magpies, mopping it all up, and she does again on this occasion. Last off her boot though, so it'll go the way of the Roos. 3-point margin. Skinner guarding the mark. Kick in board isn't fantastic, but enough time to butter up. Just a little prod over the top. Scott doesn't know what's coming. Manages to get the footy out. They'll break away. It's Scott again. Bounces up. Corrie tries to shake off Williams. No easy task. Has a runner on the outside. Doesn't reach her. Gathered by Mitchell. Mitchell now kicking towards forward 50. The intended target out there was for the Roos was McPherson. Didn't get to her. It's Mitchell again. Done some nice things in this game. Finds some space as Take Turvey bearing down. The kick let down Mitchell. Come back the other way now. A job to do for Archer. Gathers the footy. Somehow finds its way out. They're just paddling it forward. Here's Take Turvey again. Battling away. Could have been a cry for a throw. Take Turvey over the top. Here's Stanford. Stanford now. Deep entry. Good entry. A goal for the Magpies. It could be a decisive goal in this game. 8-5, 53, 7-2, 44. Stanford has done some terrific things in this game. And she puts one on the board. They've had the better of this last term. The two teams really exchanged blows in the third quarter. It's been a seesawing contest. What do Clarence have left in them? Up it goes again. One down by Sullivan, farmed out by Elise Barwick. Sullivan again on hands and knees. Done really well today. Skinner, a big booming boot outside the square. It's all red and white. She'll be able to mop up through Archer. Or she's caught, but she might have been swung without the ball. Kick in board's going to ask a bit of this Clarence defence. They farm it out. Daniels was bearing down the ball, never reached her. Clarence in a spot of bother here as Scott applies good pressure, has Bresnahan providing support. She'll try and deal with Skinner. Gets the ball out. Scott now caught high. The players stop. Eventually the umpire reacts. So Bronte Scott has been good, particularly early in the game. Just pokes a ball. Nearly finds the chest of the intended target. Jumping on top was Corrie. And brings about a stoppage. So the Rucks go at it again. Sullivan being darn good. Here comes Skinner. Reaching through. Kicking for Barwick. Didn't find her. They move it out with defence through Pearce. Sitting under the high ball is Elise Barwick. Pretty measured. Where does she head? She heads into the corridor. A brave kick. But she kicked to the right person, Nieta Lynch. So Lynch, leader of this Glenorchy side. That's a good kick, but it was overrun by Daniels, and it's all Clarence here. They should work it out. Dangerous kick back in board, almost for Barwick. Eyeing off was Williams. Good tackle from Take Turvey. And another stoppage. So 5 minutes to go here in this game. Clarence need one quick. So the Rucks collide. Take Turvey eyes it off. Bresnahan provides a good shepherd. Run onto the ball. Swing it back into the middle. Here the Roos go. Well, it's through the legs of Weberly. That could bring them unstuck. Barwick now. She was held as she went to grab the footy. Just deals with her opponent and breezes away. Kicking for Take Turvey. Or didn't quite take the grab. Mops up. Take Turvey. Has support in Barwick. Out the back is Skinner. Had a lot of the ball. Kicking for Daniels. Daniels kicked 2 already. She wants to wheel and go. Goes in board. Oh, no. Didn't find her target. It was nearly for Meg Jacobs, but not quite. It'll be a stoppage. So big moments in this game. Clarence needs something fast. They soccer it out of defence, and again it's Barwick to mop up, or Sullivan. They raffle it off. Sullivan gets it inside forward 50. Here's Barwick. Gathers, got hot pressure coming, slaps it on the boot. Or it found its way deep inside and is seen out. So we haven't called Maddie Smith's name too often in the second half of this game because I don't think she's been out there. So that has been a blow for the red and white in their pursuit of a win. Make their way from the stoppage here. It's kicked. Looking for Scott. Sharp stuff from Stanford. Slaps it on the boot. Bounces up and bounces out. So 8-5-53. 7-2-44. 3 minutes to tick. So in it comes. It's one down by the Roost. They break their way from the stoppage, or not quite in the finish. Good tackle. Take Turvey eyes it off. Breezing through was Wise. Interrupted. Skinner there now. Brushes off one. Sorry, it's Barwick. Barwick looks goalward. Steers a ball just wide. Out to the left. But they do extend their margin. So not long to go at all. Clarence need to get a move on. Kick it long through Pearce. Webley through her fingers, and it's in the arms of Sullivan. Good mark. It's going to be a Glenorchy win, you'd think, as she steers it, looking for Barwick. Elise Barwick kicked 2 today. Just soccers into the pocket. Popped up again by Pearce, but they're not getting very far with this, Clarence. Glenorchy doing well just to mop up. Little Chisler in board. Looking for Tate Turvey. She gathers eventually. Crunch from both angles. And will get a free kick. Tate Turvey will kick for goal. Put the icing on the cake. It's only a minute to run in the game, so she'll take every second she can to put it beyond doubt. Be a second of the game. Wind doing a bit. So have to judge the conditions. Good contact on the kick. Will it blow through? I think it has. It's a major for Tate Turvey. And it's going to ensure a Glenorchy victory. Here at KG5, as we see on the replay, just got the journey. Bit wind assisted in the end, I think. 9-6-60, 7-2-44. It's going to be a great win for the Glenorchy Magpies. They looked up and away in the third term. Clarence roared back into contention with 3 quick goals from Jessie Williams. But ultimately, the Magpies have controlled it. And they've got the win. Fantastic victory for Glenorchy. Starts a big night for the club on the right note. Nat Daniels with 2, Tate Turvey with 2, Elise Barwick with 2. Some of the better players. Skinner fantastic, Sullivan in the ruck also very good. For the Roos, well, it was the Jessie Williams show, 5 goals from her. She was terrific, really gave them a chance in the contest. Nicole Bresnahan, solid in the middle. May Smith started well in the first half, but lost her to injury. It's all about Glenorchy. They take the win, 9-6-60. 7-2-44 as we look at some of the highlights in that last quarter. Here was The last kick of the game in the end, it's Take Turvey steered at home. And just like they did in the grand final last year, they get the win over Clarence. So it's full time here. Full time here at KG5. It's the entree of a double header. Now see Booper TSL action between Glenorchy and Clarence. You can follow the live stream on TSL Facebook as well as AFL Tasmania YouTube. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage here of Wrest Point TSLW action between Glenorchy and Clarence. Glenorchy, good winners in the end, 9-6-60. Clarence, 7-2-44. Bye for now.